Welcome to the Financial Dad Podcast, and welcome back to our business planning series for creatives and young entrepreneurs.
Welcome back to the Financial Dad, the show where we ask our real dad, a certified financial planner, everything you need to know about starting a business. If you never learned it at school or at home, don't worry, because now you've got a financial dad too.
In our earlier videos, we talked about your business, the vision, the mission statement, as well as your target market and USP. So if you haven't had a chance to look at those videos, click here and head back to learn more.
Today, we're going to continue with our marketing plan and talk all about strategy. Keeping in mind that there are other strategic elements that are important to a business plan, including operations personnel, as well as technology and equipment, which we will cover in future videos. But today, we're going to talk the market, okay? So, Dad, why don't you give us a rundown of the different areas of marketing that we can be keeping in mind when building our strategy?
Okay, well, there are 7 or 8 primary ways or strategies or channels that people could use to market their businesses. So I'll name you a list of them. Email, direct mail, US mail, advertising, that can be television, radio, internet, etc. Publicity. Publicity is usually free, right? That's why it's called publicity. But if you hire somebody to work on it for you, then you're paying. Social media, which is today one of the main methods of marketing for an awful lot of businesses. Social media has just become huge for marketing. Then you have things like networking. So networking would mean, contacting people that you know and trying to help grow your business through connections and through help of the people who know you. So that might mean friends and family and business colleagues, things like that. And you also have centers of influence. It's similar to networking. You might even consider it a subset of networking. But a center of influence is typically somebody who can help you get more business somehow. So in social media context, it would mean an influencer who, for our coffee shop, comes and has a cup of coffee and spends some time and does a reel, from the coffee shop. So in other contexts, it would have a different meaning. So that gives you a sense of, there's a couple others, but that gives you a sense of the range of different strategies that you could use to market your business. Strategy, by the way, is sort of the what we're going to do. So if you're going to do this, if you're going to choose, direct mail, how are you going to do what frequency? How are you going to do it? Postcards, letters, etc. But this is about the what we're going to do. And what you should do is look at all of these and see what would fit and what wouldn't. So I think it would be a lot of fun to have the two of you, Hallie and Bridget, look at our Brewzone out there in Little Creek Falls, New Hampshire, and tell me what you think would be good ways to market the business. Remembering, by the way, keeping in alignment the vision of the company. What is this vision? These strengths and weaknesses, the vibe, the target market, what's unique about our unique selling proposition, what is going to be unique about it. With all of that in mind, what of those things might be applicable to this business? I've given you this range of possible ways of marketing a business. Hallie and Bridget, which way do you think would be good ones? Which ones would be good? What would you choose? And then how would you implement it?
I think that social media is probably going to be our biggest tool in terms of marketing, because when we look back at who we decided our target audience, our target customers were, they're mainly young people, and young people are spending so much time on social media, like more time sometimes than they are in their own lives. So, and guilty party here, but I think that social media is going to be probably the biggest thing we could use to market. And I feel like there's a lot of different ways within social media that you could. Like, I think that we could.
That was going to be my next question for you. Okay.
Yes. I think that we could start a Brewzone social media page, like on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, and start creating our own content around. I think it would be good to invest in like someone who can do this at the store, because there's all these trends about like people who make these drinks and they turn it around and you can see that they've got a message on it, or like there are so many different creative ways that you can get reach on social media. And that kind of creates a name already for you. And then I think you could also bring people in for like a promotional event where if they create some sort of content for you and promote it on their page and their local influencers or just local people in general, if they share something about it, maybe they get like a promotional price or, there's something that they can get in return. And then you could also run ads on social media. You could run ads on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I don't know if TikTok does ads, but I feel like that might be the best and possibly most cost-effective place to start.
If you did ads at all.
If you did ads at all, which you
Yeah.
might not have to if, you can get the word out through people that you invite or through your own content.
That's part of the beauty of social media, right?
Yeah.
Is that you can actually market for free.
Yeah.
You may not get as much activity as you'd like, and some ads to supplement it might be good, but just the basic stuff of posting content is free.
Now that you say that, that also makes me think that we should probably have a website, no? And like a
Yeah.
website where you can get information about the hours and our location and also like where you could order online if you wanted to, like for pickup.
Yep.
Then also
Or delivery.
Or delivery. I was gonna say we also could add ourselves to platforms like third-party sites like Uber Eats or Seamless or DoorDash or places where, someone who is searching online for something like this, say that they want a place where they can like pick up a coffee, but they don't have time to like stand there and wait in line, or if they want to order, say we have like breakfast food or something like that, like avocado toast or something simple, if we're offering that sort of thing as well, where they could order it for pickup or for delivery, then we're also getting more people to see that we exist, because even if they don't live close enough that they would choose like our coffee shop as the place to go to in person, if they're ordering delivery, then we'll still come up as an option because it doesn't matter, like someone's going to drive like their stuff to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think also you ideally you would have an app that people could order through. On their iPhone or Android or whatever, a smart app. And that starts to it's somewhere between the boundaries of marketing and operations there,
Yeah.
because that has to be that and the website ordering have to be so closely meshed with your sales system in a store like what we're talking about,
Okay, cool.
Any ideas on social media, Bridget, that you would implement?
I think everything Hallie said was great. I would definitely make sure I am collaborating with other established business owners or accounts that would maybe want to come in for a free coffee, maybe some sort of, like Hallie said, promotional event, open house where we can really create a lot of content and then share it across other platforms of people who already have a placehold in our local community. I think that's a win-win. And then I do have some ideas beyond social media, but I think that what we've said social media wise is a great place to start. So creating content, some influencer marketing, a promotional event, and collaborating with other accounts on our socials, and then potentially running ads on social media.
Okay. So if you were to do all these things in a plan, ladies, what you would also do is say, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And here are going to be the deadlines of that we're going to try to do X, Y, and Z over the next 4 weeks, let's say, of opening. Maybe you're going to have a soft open or a hard open, a major launch. But all of this needs to be planned out in advance. And, this would have to start quite some time before your actual opening to start creating buzz, right? To start getting people talking about it and saying, oh, did you hear there's a new place coming, et cetera, et cetera. Okay.
I have a question. I have a question that I think could be helpful for those listening. Obviously, there's a lot of things to be done when you're starting a business. It's not just, I'm going to post once on Instagram and everyone's going to flock to me. So how do you prioritize what's most important and what needs to be done first? Do you have any advice on that for people?
I do. So let's go back to our time management thinking, okay? A, B, C, D items. D means delegate. You're not even going to deal with it, right? C, an item that you would give a C rating to, is something that is not important and it's not urgent. It's got to get done eventually, but it's not important and not urgent. B is things that are either important or urgent. And then A is things that are both important and urgent. So, and this is why we're kind of doing marketing first. What is more important to getting your place open than getting people in the door to buy your product? Now, the truthful answer to that is having the decor ready, having the product ready, having your displays ready. All of it's important. And this is why, business owners are often called the one-armed paper hanger, right? Because it's all important and urgent when you're starting up, when you're getting it off the ground. And there are plenty of people who, there's no such thing as an 8-hour day when you're launching a business. And probably for the first few years of the business. So I think you can use that approach to try to prioritize. But at the end of the day, what it's going to come down to is you're going to be very busy. Hopefully you have help. They're going to be very busy. And it takes an awful lot of work to get anything off the ground because you're creating everything from nothing.
Yeah. That's really helpful. There are a number of different strategies that we can implement. We definitely want to focus on social media. The other things that I would want to make sure we're focusing on are having business listings on sites like Google and Yelp. And really, the action item of that would be to ask people to write reviews when they come in and purchase something. So I think that's going to be important. And I know, Hallie, you had a good one around like networking that you wanted to make sure we implement.
Yeah, I think word of mouth is really important. I think especially for something like this because it is about the vibe. And I think that when someone finds a place that they really like the energy of, the people around them will probably also like it because birds of a feather, birds of a feather flock together. So like I think that it would be good to have some sort of, I don't know if it like a referral is the right term for it, but like something where when someone brings a friend and they like make a purchase or something that they can get, maybe the person who brings them in gets a free coffee or something like that. Because I know personally, there's a coffee shop that I love in Los Angeles, and like I talk about it all the time. Like I've brought friends there before, so I know that it's a thing that happens.
Yes.
And I wouldn't. It would not have been a problem for me if I got a free coffee when I brought someone,
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah. So let's talk about things that probably wouldn't work. Let's talk about, for example, direct mail. Would you try direct mail with this?
I would not do direct mail. Number one, it's very expensive, and I've learned that from you, Dad, because we've talked about that, for other things together. And I also don't think this target market really interacts with businesses in that way. And as you mentioned before, we are really focused on a young population. Could we even get addresses for that young population? So I probably wouldn't do mail, and I probably also wouldn't do email. Not at first. I don't think that needs to be done to get things off the ground. Maybe an email and text campaign once the business is established, and we might implement a rewards program or something like that. But I wouldn't do that. And I also, publicity wise, I probably wouldn't do like podcast interviews because that's not really local. You can find some podcasts that are local, but it's usually a little bit more broad.
Yeah. So I think we've had some good examples of stuff that would definitely work. Social media clearly would be the number one route to go with this. And, we got some ideas of things that probably wouldn't work because it doesn't align. It's costly, and it doesn't align with, the vision of what we're trying to accomplish. We can't target carefully enough, and the people don't pay attention to it. So it's a creative process to run through this, but it's a really good process to put your mind through. Because when you've thought of all these things and you've put yourself through this exercise, you can feel pretty confident that you got a good plan when you come out of it because you've thought it through. So that, and that's what I like about this part of it. And now you've got a bunch of action items and you're ready to get going on it. You're ready to take action.
It definitely does feel like a creative process, a test and probably reiterate as well. So I like that we've gone through all the examples. There's so many different things the business owner can do. And then we've talked about the action. And stay tuned for the next videos because we're going to be talking more about personnel, technology, operations, financials, because all of these aspects are part of your business plan. So thank you guys so much for listening today. Make sure to like and subscribe and share our channel with someone who's thinking of starting a business, because we know that this information not only helps us, but is likely going to help that person that you love too. Thank you so much. Two.
Leave that in. Leave that in.
If this is tickling your fancy, please tune in next week and for the rest of our series, and we hope to see you soon.